played at another level.
The unsinkable pirate.
You were just kind of in awe.
A Clemente home run.
He was so stylish.
Oh, how did he do that?
So unmistakable.
I've never seen a pro like that in my life.
I can never tell if he was aware of how cool he looked.
Dad was a very proud Puerto Rican.
To him, his people were first. And I'm telling you, don't mess with Puerto Ricans. ¿Comprende, mi amigo?
She said when she saw him, her heart skipped.
Ay, Dios mío.
When he got home, he told his mother, I met the girl I'm gonna marry.
Tenía un corazón de oro.
He would hold baseball clinics. And he would do it for free.
It really transcends sport.
When you talk about Clemente, you talk about the legacy he left outside of the game.
It was his way to getting his message across.
Roberto rolls into spring training, doesn't know what's about to hit him.
Puerto Rican culture was deeply maligned.
Dad was hot-tempered. You want some dirt? I'll give you some dirt.
You have talked about for 18 years. You don't get the kind of exposure that the other athletes do.
If I'm good enough to play here, I have to be good enough to be treated like the rest of the players.
Finding out what really happened was the most devastating research I've done in my career.
La historia no puede morir de legado.
In that World Series, Clemente showed the world what he could do.
Seguimos hablando por él porque creo que no se le ha honrado como se debe. He wanted to represent every person suffering injustice.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Clemente, arriving in theaters on September 12th. I'm KUYA P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things Clemente, I have writer, director, producer, David Altrogge. Hopefully I got your name right. The name is brutal.
Tell me about it.
And of course, Roberto Clemente Jr., son of the legend that we're talking all about, Roberto Clemente. Thank you both for your time. I truly appreciate it. This is an honor. Roberto, I'm sure you know your pops was an icon for a lot of us. And you growing up a Pennsylvania cat, I know, David, an honor for you to, bring this to work as a homegrown hero for you guys as well.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for your time. I got to start off because I live in the DC area, not too far from PA, and there's a lot of changes happening in the world. And this gives me hope because they're trying to erase a lot of our history. So this coming out is just exciting. It's needed. I love it. What is the vibe with that for you as well? When you're seeing the world, and now you have something like this that they're trying to erase stuff like this, and it's giving life not only to you, I'm sure for you, Roberto, your dad, but also in a time where things like this are sorely needed. What are the emotions and the feelings right now with the product, this film hitting September 12th? If I could start with you, Roberto Jr.
Well, I think the timing for this project to come out is absolutely fantastic. It's when you talk about Clemente, you talk about, he's a unifier. It's being able to unify our communities, our people, being able to think about how we can be of help. So this project really is a call to action for us to be able to become better global citizens, being able to really be out there, be of impact. And, he only lived 38 years, short 38, but it was actually, he lived in a flash. And the impact, obviously, we're talking about 53 years later, we're still talking about the impact that he still has in our society.
Amazing. And for you, David, you put a lot of your heart and soul with a lot of documentary work.
Yeah.
I think I'm a filmmaker myself. I think it's the hardest thing to do because it's such a responsibility for you bringing this to life.
Yeah. it's so much of why I wanted to make this film is because, in 2018, I looked around and it's a scary time to be alive and to be an American. And I have 2 kids and I just wanted to make something to give, my kids hope. And to give me hope and to give, just all of us who just feel like, do our lives matter? Can we live a life of impact in these times. And I started to think back on stories from around where I grew up of people who changed the world, who lived lives for good, who lived out their convictions. And I remembered hearing, the story as a kid about this baseball player who died helping people who played for the Pirates. And I was like, maybe there's something there. I didn't really know much about him because I wasn't a baseball guy, and I was a little after his time. So I read this book and was blown away by, like, not just, anyone who knows the Clemente story knows that he made the ultimate sacrifice at the end of his life. He died trying to help people who were suffering, but his whole life he was living that way and doing all these small secret acts of kindness, and I just encourage and empathy, and I was just like, this is a story we got to tell. And yeah, that was kind of where it was born, and the heart behind the film.
I love that. All right, if I can start again back with you, David, before I head over to Roberto. So you decide, okay, I'm gonna do this, but as you know, it's an honor, and it's difficult to make these things happen, and to sell the family on this.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was like. Okay, I want to do this. How do I get the Clemente clan, the family, to come on board with me as I take this project on?
Yeah, well, I was, I didn't know how to get in touch with Roberto Jr. I did not know that he actually lived just down the road from me at the time. So I started by calling. There's an amazing museum in Pittsburgh called the Clemente Museum, run by a guy named Dwayne Reeder, one of the the sort of experts of Clemente, and has built this incredible archive that honors Roberto's family. And so he connected me with Roberto's mom, and I was able to do an interview with Roberto's mom before she passed away. It was her last trip to Pittsburgh, and I was able to do this interview. And through that interview, I was able to get in touch with you, Roberto. Roberto, I'll let you speak to how much I annoyed you, but I'm a documentary filmmaker, and I'm pretty good at annoying people. So
yes, through that interview, KUYA P, what happened was he actually got together with my brother. Somehow my brother calls me up. Listen, there's a guy that wants to do this documentary. And David started calling, like, it seemed like once a week for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Now, but in my defense, Roberto, you never said no. You just kept pushing me off. You were being too nice.
True.
And so I thought, he's not saying no, so I'll keep calling.
He kept on calling. That was my mistake. But yeah, I'm glad that I did say no, because we were able to sit down, have a cup of coffee, grab a cup, and we hit it off. I was able to really understand where he was coming from, and capturing Mom, her last interview, that also was very special to us, and that really made it special. So we said, you know what, let's go, and here we are. I mean, a fantastic job by the team, but by David, and had a tough one because there's a lot of stories within that story that could have gone, many different ways, but he was able to thread the needle the right way and come up with a great project.
Well, it helped, though. I'll say, when I finally got to sit down with you, Roberto, we did an initial 3 or 4 hour interview, and that interview became the spine of the film. And then I was able to go back and interview you a second time. And that interview helped immensely, that we were then able to sort of build all these other interviews around. And, we got crazy people. We got Michael Keaton, Rita Moreno, David Maraniss, Pulitzer Prize winning author, Francisco Lindor, and then obviously Roberto's brother, Luis Roberto, another huge voice in the film. So it's, Roberto and Luis sort of are the spine of the film. Dwayne Reeder, the Clemente Museum, executive director, founder, all these voices just sort of weaving together, teammates, to sort of create this tapestry. But those initial interviews with Roberto Jr. and Luis were really grounding. And then, of course, your mom just brought the heart of the film, and the film ends with Vera and then Roberto's voice, Roberto Sr. And it's, there's no film without Vera. And I'm just so grateful we got to sit down with your mom, Vera, Roberto.
Love that. Rest in power to moms, man. I love that you answered one of my questions, because as you know, as a documentary work, I have a lot of, being DC area, a lot of documentarian friends over here, trying to figure that through line and how and what we want to get the story out there, but also some things fall to the side in regards to the story because we have to figure that through line. So that's also one of my sidebar questions. There was a great note I think that you, Roberto Jr. gave where about Bob Gibson. We wanted to give some dirt, so you kind of threw that one out there. But was there other stuff maybe like that just it didn't fit in the final cut? That I would love to do a TV series, to be honest. Like, this is a great. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor that didn't make it. But can we talk to that, or just stuff that you would like to have seen maybe, but it didn't make it all the way through? But we're in our riches right now. You gave us a lot, and I love it.
There's so much, KUYA, that I can tell you it's tough. I mean, we could definitely do an 8-hour piece easily with his the bulk of what he did as a human being in those 38 years of his life. So the piece itself, I think, is fantastic. I can tell you that for me, just people going to learn about him becoming a chiropractor, a healer, and some other aspects of his life that are less known, and they're fans of him, of his, with the little that they know. So we're excited to be able to enlighten those fans and motivate them even more to become global citizens.
I was bummed to not be able to talk about your dad as an artist. Like your dad did pottery and played music, and it's so cool at the museum they have some of the pots your dad made, these beautiful clay pots, and I was so many stories like that we just couldn't fit in. Our original cut of the film, our initial cut was 4 hours long. We went from 50 hours of interviews to a 4-hour cut to eventually what you see now, which is an hour and 45 minutes, but just so many cool aspects of your dad's life and journey, and just such a nuanced, rounded person that, your dad coaching baseball. We didn't even really get to talk that your dad not only played, but coached in the Winter League. Didn't even get to touch on that. Literally did not even, and it's just such a bummer because there's just so many stories like that.
I love it. Well, David, you did a brilliant job, but
well, that's very kind of you.
Gave us a festival of riches, but it's a testament that we want more,
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great. And hopefully there'll be many more. I mean, look, this is an hour and 45-minute film. There's a lot of the story left to be told, and a new every generation. The last documentary of note on Clemente was 2008, and so it was time for a new one. And in a couple of years, I'm sure there'll be time for a new one, and that's the great thing about this story is that it is truly, there's a timelessness to it, man. Clemente's story doesn't die, and it's, every generation needs to be reminded of just who Clemente was, and more importantly, be inspired to live like Clemente in whatever corner of the world you're inhabiting.
Definitely. Completely agree. Roberto Jr., if I could go back to you quick, sir. One of the also things that struck me as a person of color that was very interesting to hear, and I don't think a lot of people know because, we're in a different time period now, is how your father said he was a double N-word, if you will, I think is what was said. And
that's exactly what I said, yes.
That hit really close because, as a person of color, the family that I have, I think we feel that in a lot of ways, and it was great to see that in this. Can you speak on that and just the profoundness and this representation that this, David did an amazing job of highlighting that and showing that, and you and the family, making sure that was in there and getting people involved to speak on that. Can you just speak on just that importance and what that meant for you and everyone involved?
Being able to speak on that topic, it was real. It's a fact. How he felt, and it's actually how he really expressed himself, and understanding that we're talking about 60s, 70s, and I myself have gone through things in the 80s and the 90s that are similar, the same effect to a human being. So being able to recognize that and have that in an open conversation is important. And this piece it does that as well. Being able to really highlight, that piece of society that is still there, and it needs to get better. We're making improvements, obviously, but I think that we must recognize that we still need to continue to improve more.
Definitely. I really, really appreciated that was put in there. And then to eventually, I think we had that moment where we talked about that a lot of people didn't recognize it when the players were on the field and they were looking left to right. It was an all-black team out there. Just outstanding. Again, you guys, I love this documentary. Cool. And it's really well done. And I hope you as a family appreciate it. You guys, thank you, Clemente family. Like, this is so special.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, KUYA P, for having us. Absolutely. We're very proud of it, for sure. Very proud.
Yeah.
Amazing. Again, I want to tell everybody it arrives in theaters on September 12th. I'm just gushing because I have the two amazing people with me speaking on it. David Altrogge, thank you so much for your time.
Yes,
brilliant work. Can't wait to see what you're going to do next.
Thank you.
And Roberto Clemente Jr., to you and your family, nothing but love. Thank you so much. So inspiring. Everybody, check out Clemente in theaters September 12th. I'm KUYA P. Nerds rule the world. All right, there's a cut, gentlemen. Again,
yes.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah. Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world.
Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world. So more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes,
you know
sir. Thank you. Awesome. KUYA P, nerds rule the world. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerds Rule.
Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julie.
Yes,
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes. Yes. Nerds do rule the world. I agree.
We do.
I agree.
We're awesome, aren't we?
Thank you, ladies.
So much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
And nerds really do rule the world.
Thank you, sir. It's your boy KUYA P. Nerds rule the world. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
Do. They rule the world all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys. All right. I'm rocking and rolling. Thank you, Julia, Roberto, David. Let's have some fun if you guys are ready.
Ready. Let's go.
All right, I'm going to do a 3, 2, 1 real quick to help me with my edit because I'm putting the trailer right in front.
Cool.
All right, let's rock and roll. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.